And here we go into tank picks. This
It's
is...
been a while on Murrow, hasn't it?
I didn't even know this map was in the map pool anymore.
We saw it all the time the first like week and a half.
It was
and
the
then
first...
it was always the last pick or the tiebreaker or something. We just
was
didn't see
the
it that much.
first... It was first, second week. We saw it constantly. And we've seen insane fights. Actually, last Wednesday...
Jack and AFK were great on it too.
Yeah, last Wednesday, if I'm correct, Burbology played against somebody else and they actually lost one on Murrow. They actually played Murrow against somebody. I can't remember who it was. I think FHS, and they took one off of them or something. I can't remember. I know a team played this last week, but we weren't casting it, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It was the other stream, the Hitman stream.
The Hitman and the Scott Sterling.
The Sterling Hitman special. Well, that's what we're gonna call tiebreakers from now on. The Sterling Hitman special. As we go into Muravanka.
The Scott man.
FHS, Jack and AFK each guarantee a point. Winner of this gets gets both of them. But FHS on attack. IS7 double bat, VZ double cron, Jack is AFK bringing in IS7 and STP CS.
That is a really interesting lineup.
VZ cron, my goodness, one of each.
That is a really interesting lineup. On attack, bringing two.
Double cron.
Is that a one cap play? Two bats, two crons, a VZ,
but look at their initial.
Yeah,
the crons. I mean, I guess moving around, the crons are fast raw speed wise, right? If they go force and they decide to flex back, but
yeah, they're like one of those they're like old IS7, like can't reach top speed but still go pretty quick. They casually move at like in the 50s on like hard ground.
And Koma's going to the church as well. You can see Knight here doing some spotting in the bat chat. Muravanka is it's a map where you have to be careful. One little mistake, one bad route. A tank can get picked and it can be over really quickly.
One tree down and you're if you're playing against players that know, they're like, oh, that tree fell down that like everybody sits in when they do the scout run. Boom, 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 boom. Right.
Especially if you play those vehicles go into certain spots and people have been watching your replays, you realize really quickly you have to change it up for the sake of changing it up a lot. It's like, if I just drive to the same spot every week on Muravanka, I'm just going to get blinded.
So it looks like it's going to be that nice 2-cap special where you bring the IS7 up as far as he can be. Basically where he is parallel to the 2-cap. Correct. Where he's parallel to the 2-cap, and then you put somebody on a cap like the bat chat, like Mr. Night 1 Rider. And then you have all those guys, like the 2 crons and the VZ in the middle to just punish anything that tries to reset. And I think that's what that is. It's that clip potential. And as you can see,
shooting to the middle, there's a lot of debris, and if they have heat loaded, which I assume they are not going to have heat loaded for this.
No, they're probably going to have APCR because they're going to have side shots anyways.
And it looks like too their eventual position they want to get to is they want to get someone to the 4 line if it's a Kronwagen. But
look at this. They're like spreading out actually. They're trying to create a crossfire within the entire city here, so that when somebody goes for resets, they just die because they're getting shot from everywhere.
Fishy is spotted there in his VZ, and Koma playing smart, not being in the traditional spot, the church, knowing that he could get in the bush line because he knew that the 4 line was pretty safe. Just trying not to be spotted, because the fact that he hasn't been...
Then you have Volvo playing that offside. He's a little bit far out, but I think he might be able to get in. I think he's far out because he doesn't want to get picked by, for example, the CS and the bat chat. Because that's most likely who was going to be fighting, right? As you can see, the bat chat is E1, while the CS is coming down the 2 lane. Most likely, they're going to be grouping up here. Brett is going to start going, and they are going to try to clear out the A line together.
At the same time, there's a minute left on the cap. So if they do that, they don't have that much time to actually... And yeah, they're turning around now. Because they realize if we do that, like, this whole fight's going to be decided over here.
Right.
They're trying to blind Knight, give the occasional shot at the cap.
And like you said, he's on... And yeah, like you said, because you looked at the mini map, and you look, north of cap, so he's he's in 3 o'clock, right? Like you were talking about before. So he's at the 3
about 2
o'clock.
o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, 2, 3. So Coma is coming in. It took me 18 hours of studying how clocks work in order to figure that out. And he is just going to, oh my Jesus.
And he continues forward after Knight is already running off the cap, and Coma goes down. Knight may take a little more. No, he's only going to go down to 1,400.
Fishy got bled more than Knight did in that scenario,
right.
which is insane because, I mean,
Knight's
that's good for
right
them.
on the cap
oh,
now.
what are you doing, bro? He's still doing circles and getting shot.
I thought he had gone
dark
at that point.
They pinged him, so they get 2 extra seconds. Designated target.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
I think somebody actually just like literally just blinded him. Like they just pathing wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can they play they could technically still play the cap if he goes right back on.
Yeah.
And if
he should be on now, and it looks like he's inching on now.
Okay.
And that's absolutely the right decision. And the Krons are actually flexing north during all of this madness going on, realizing.
Oh my Jesus!
Oh, no!
That's a throw. I mean, that's unfortunate.
A bad route from Chase.
Yeah, really bad
route from Chase. That just threw a lot of the HP right back. Now Chase isn't dead. He is a Kron. And he can still shoot,
but now,
cross and do
yeah,
anything.
and I mean, Floppy is literally just going for it. He's going straight at Vova.
And Demonic's gonna try to get over there and help, but he may get bled by Very. Very's going to be ready for it unless Demonic takes the...
Oh my god, these pathing of these Kron Vogons are literally losing it for FHS right now.
Ooh, Floppy misses that shot, but
I think Volva's actually reloading
Vova
now.
Have enough to kill him?
No, he's reloading now.
No, he's running now. He's down to
2200. He never does unless somebody else gets a shot onto him.
I don't know if FHS were trying to make too much happen there with the Kron Vogons, because like they could just reapply cap pressure and just do the exact same thing again.
I mean, if they would have did the exact same thing again, I think they would have won that.
Because they rushed it, because the route from the Krons were not correct, because they were rushing to change things. And yeah, HP's still even, and the bat chat remains on the cap. The VZ's running towards the STB on the 4 line, but I mean, Jack's AFK is trying to clear out this north, but now it's become like a defender's attack on the north. The Kron Vagon's an A3.
Wow, what is this?
That's going to take some time to actually
What is this response by Jack? Yeah, Vova actually winning that.
They're just disjointed.
Oh my Jesus, Demonic and
Vervi is in the force now, and he's going to get to the cap to get resets while the I-7 gets on.
Yep. And Vervi is one shot now. Demonic in his own little 1v1 here. Vova goes down, but taking so much, I mean, dishing out so much damage in a scenario like that.
And Brett does get the reset onto Knight.
He's looking to try to get kill, I think.
Yeah, now it's time to run.
I think Captain Jack might just get the kill, actually. Ooh, he took a shot there.
Ooh.
But, I mean, now it's just Flounder by himself, by his lonesome.
And that's match. Jack is
going
to win this in a tiebreaker. They were down 3-1. Winning 3 in a row to get the points. Congratulations to them. It was a little sloppy play by FHS. I mean, that initial IS-7 plotting did not go well.
I kind of understood what the purpose was for that. It was to counter the, you know how I was talking about earlier, the like A-line push? Yeah, the north play. It was to counter that, but I mean, all they really had to do was, I mean, like we were talking about before, Kron Vogons aren't slow anymore if you have turbo. All they needed to do was do a wide 6-line route, and they would have been fine.
It would have taken another 10 seconds, maybe 15, than what they did, and they would have been perfectly safe and full health, and they would have slaughtered that push if it came.
They would have. Yeah, it's just really unfortunate that Chase played that close and got lit like that and took so much bleed. Because to be honest with you, they played really, really perfectly. It's one of those things where I feel like, from what we've saw so far, I mean, Brett obviously played really well there, getting those resets, getting into the forest without getting lit, basically driving through the middle of the map, right? In order to get kind of stealthy.
North brawl after the initial.
And as we can see, Vova doing 3k damage in that scenario, while Captain Jack does 4,800 and picks up 3 kills. He's mainly I'm pretty sure he's the one that tracked Chase. Because remember, Chase got tracked and then everybody just clapped him. Yeah, and so...
That's 135 fantasy point. My God. That is a monster game. Ox
That is a
more
monster
than
game,
3K
and he is
with
a
the kill.
he's a very rarely picked player too. Because
Mhm.
he's usually
He just doesn't
AFK.
play as much. Yeah, he's AFK. He's not
So
there.
if anybody picked him up, like they're probably gonna be top for this week, just because it's such a rare thing to see. And I think he was playing pretty well overall. But anyways, we have 10 minutes until the next matches here, and as you could see, Jack is AFK actually taking it. We didn't talk about favoritism or anything, like who's in favor of winning this prediction wise. But it was a really good reverse by Jack, I feel like.
Yeah, and FHS were playing really well coming into this. I think they'd won their last 2, maybe?
Yeah.
I can't remember. And Jack's AFK needed to come back after a disappointing showing on Friday. And at first, it just didn't look great after the Himmelsdorf, but they showed perseverance. They showed some grit. They went to Sand River. I mean, being down 3-1 going into Sand River is not comfort. And they won their 2 Sand Rivers were very well done. And credit to them. They deserve the win today. And showing again that this season is really just any team's game. Like,
Correct.
no one is kind of the favorite.
And looking at the overall fantasy points before we go AFK and talk about how badly FHS threw. I mean, how unfortunate it was for that they lost the overtime, but it's okay. They got a point. It's way different than if they fully lost. And yes. I think it was a really good showing by both teams. And to be honest with you, Jack, I feel like just showcased, what calm, collective, and not getting tilted can do for you. You can get a win.
Yes,
you can turn things around. I think that was probably
can give you 500 fantasy points too.
I feel like that was the best. I feel like so far that might have been the best turnaround in the league, except for maybe I think Team Flare did win an overtime attack as well. Instead of a defense, I think they won an overtime attack. And so basically, this was a really good showing. And
both teams have something to work on. Like
they do.
You can see things on certain sides of maps. Both teams have concrete things that they can adjust with their strats, with their calls, with their plays, positions, whatever. Because there were clear mistakes made by both, but just good play overall. And I guess let's take a few minute break, and we'll be back. The second match of the night, Verbology versus No Hard Feelings.
And Ox Math is doing 497 fantasy points worth. This is an insane pick if you pick them. Jack doing 405 as well. And the highest, the one, the only Vova doing 317 on his team, trying to carry them as much as possible, but just unable to do it alone. Brett doing 331, but also making some of the most important plays for the wins I think we've seen, right? We've seen him consistently playing. Even a couple of the step games, remember he bide time playing that offside like that, and stuff like that. So Floppy not really showcasing what he normally does, but then again he didn't really get to show off in his CS like he also normally does. But it was a really good showing from everybody. I think that there was a really good group of matches. I was very excited. It was very exciting. It was just really kind of one of those things where I was just more shocked at that end match because it just looked like a FHS win, right? They picked an IS-7 for free, and I was like, oh, all they have to do, they only took 2,000 damage in return, but they took it on separate tanks, right? So they still had all the tanks. So I was like, oh, all they have to do is just reset. I don't know what, I actually kind of want to talk to them about that, but I'll wait, obviously, maybe a couple days. But I'm really curious what the whole strat was there, because I don't know. Both of us have, experience in small format, and I felt like resetting would have been fine. I feel like resetting and maybe having Vova bait
I think they just got excited.
Yeah.
They got excited. They got the pick. They got everything they wanted. And then it became, okay, let's do it again. And then it was, oh, Kronwagens, let's just move the Kronwagens now. Yeah. And then go fast. It was something like that happened.
Because,
instead of just slow it down. Like, we can do that, but just slow it down when we go, because we still have to be safe.
Because I feel like they could have done the same thing, but just a little bit differently. They could have kept one Kron in the middle. They could have had one Kron flex really wide north, and they could have set him behind Vova. And then they still could have had that bait going on, right? But, a Kron and a bad chat will probably beat a CS and a bad chat, right? You see what I'm saying? Because what they would do is just like they'd focus the CS, and then it's just GG, right? Because once the back clips, then 2v2 win on their end. And that's what I, thought that they were going to do maybe when I saw them pushing up, but then both of them and then Chase got bled. But anyways, we're going to put on some music for you guys and we will be back in about 7 minutes. All right.
A little bit less than that. It'll be about less than 5.
True.
We'll see you guys in a few.